Hello everybody, Wilder Ireland here. It's a lovely evening and I just want to say a few things as usual. Do I ever stop? Now, this is a warning, a couple of warnings actually. The grass is very long, so I might get ambushed. Leopard or something like. Anyway, the warning is I just had my second COVID shot vaccine, the Pfizer one, yesterday. And I'm a little bit extra off the grid. I know, as if I'm not off the grid in the first place. So that's the first warning. The second thing is the ponies are back. The ponies are back and we're gonna have a party. Hey now, hey now. Or else I'm gonna get kicked and bitten to death. We'll see how it goes. But for those who don't know, if you look on my YouTube channel, there's a playlist called Connemara Pony Days in Ireland, and that was last year. So I'll start a new one now if I survive. And I also have a wonderful song there, which I really need you guys to push that up the charts a bit for me. I wrote it and I sing, well, anyway. And anyway, I've been expecting these ponies back. They just come here for the summer. The owner, these are Connemara Ponies, car coming. And the owner leases out his land to this chap. And I met him once and I think he said he has something like, I can't remember exactly, 90 or 100 of these ponies. So last year there was, I think, 14 of them. And there was, the guys were on one side of the road, they were geldings, and the girls were over here. And then towards the end of the year they got mixed because the grass started to, the grazing was running out. And that didn't go down too well with the girls, but they got used to each other. So there's some here today. I'd say there's only a few have arrived. He probably might be bringing them in over the weekend, but I want to see what happens here. They're most likely not going to be the ponies from last year, who would, I assume, recognize me. These could be different ponies, or they could be one or two or a few from last year. Now I'm getting the dirty looks. Now one of them does look, it's the same colour as one of the mares from last year, but as I said, this chap has so many and he may even have sold some. So we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, that was the other warning. Seriously now, because I don't want loads of people coming onto YouTube and giving out to me. And they would have a point. You should never, ever go in with horses of any type. Because you don't know what their temperament is like. And these guys aren't broken in. These are young Connemara ponies, maybe 3 or 4 years old, I don't know. And when they come in here, they really revert to a herd lifestyle, which is wonderful because I love to see them behaving naturally. And they have the pecking orders and they fight amongst themselves. So there's a danger, a slim danger they would just decide to have a go with you. But my main fear last year was I had a couple of kind of close calls, all my own fault, and if anything happens I won't be suing anyone. It's the stupidity clause. But it's when they're actually in disagreement amongst themselves, I was always worried I might accidentally because they get so focused on each other. Now I don't recognize these. They don't seem too concerned with me at the moment. There's 3 here. Oh, here's another. We're coming through. I'm on a little action cam, so I can't zoom in. That's my excuse for the bad camera work today. Now, so we've 3 here, and we've a few more coming in. I don't recognize any of these. Oh, these are the guys actually. So these are not last year's. I don't think they are. They're moving off now. They don't know me. I've got some sort of a cobweb on there. Now this one. Oh, there's more. Yeah, there's a good few here. This could be all the guys for this year. And the mares will probably, unless the mares are already over there, they might arrive over the weekend, I imagine. No, none of these guys I think are from last year, unless that's Brownie there and got a bit bigger. I don't think so though. I had original names for them like Blackie and Brownie. And Warty, the poor, look at there. The poor Warty had, what do you call it? He had that disease, horse people will know, it's like a kind of a herpes thing. On his nose. There's not much you can do for it from what I can see online anyway. So he became warty. Now, last year when I first saw them, and this is no joke, they were actually, I stayed outside the gate and I wouldn't even come up near the gate. And if you do check out those videos, you'll see, you know, in a very short period of time, most of them trusted me, and a couple were slower to come around than the others. But these guys don't want anything to do with me at the moment. Yeah. So these are the geldings. So they're probably quite, I'd say they only probably arrived today, so they're getting used to their new setup. They have a lot of land here. There's, I don't know, 5 or 6 fields, maybe less, but they're all interconnected. And there's also a lot of scrubland and small pockets of woodland. So I'm not an equine expert, but I would imagine it's a nice place to spend your summer. But I don't recognize any of these fellas. I'd imagine the owner just randomly picks them. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes through some criteria of which ones to move. But these are Irish Connemara ponies. And I think that brown colour is bay. Horsey people will know. The colours aren't as nice as last year. There was a greater variety of colours last year. Hello. But no, I got on quite well with them. I developed my legendary arse massage. A couple of them like the arse massages. I am available for hire. Anybody who wants me to, I can offer that as a service. And yeah, feeding is another thing you should never do. I do it. I got permission from the owner of the horses and from the owner of the land, but and you're meant to, if you are feeding, you're meant to like put it in the palm of your hand. Now of course I break that rule. That's so they don't bite your fingers off. And you may laugh, it's obviously not something that's likely to happen, but go on to Google and you'll see a couple of people who lost fingers. It's not that they're out to bite you, it's so much as accidentally. There was a couple of times now Warty and one of the other ones got me when I wasn't paying full attention. But obviously just slightly, and I got out in time. But when they fight amongst themselves, they often bite. There's plenty of videos on that playlist. And then the kicking is when it gets nasty. When these guys, not these guys, last year's guys moved in from across the road in with the mares who were already here. Oh my God, those mares gave them an awful time. But they started to calm down, but just then they were leaving anyway. So they go back to the owner in the autumn, early winter. Look, this one is giving me the looks now. So they just really spend summer here, really. Well, summer and autumn. So I don't think there's much point filming them because there's not much to see here. But I will try and get to know these guys as time goes. They're off there, walking off in a line. They're not skittish either. I mean, they're not going to come over and be pals, but they're not stressed either. They're just moving around, ambling. I was stopped by a guard. Sorry, for people not from Ireland, that's the police. Just now, second time. I was stopped before. I'm not even sure if he was a guard. I didn't ask for his ID, but I did this time. But and I had this little action camera in a case. He asked me to look in the case and that, but it's not, you know. I'd like to think if I was a hunter with a gun, he would have questioned me. I'm sure he would have. But it turns out I know some of the people he knows through my work. But so yeah, so I told him what I was up to. And now I'm just going to head out and cut this. We'll follow them through because the main gate is here. But yeah, some of them last year were very much into licking the palm of my hand. Now I don't know if that was because they were craving salt or what it was. Maybe equine behaviours could fill me in on that. Now they're all up at the gate, and unfortunately I'm going to have to go up here now. They'll think I'm I think I'm out to get them. So as I said, they probably only arrived here today, so they're getting their bearings. They're okay. They're okay. They don't know what you're okay means, of course. They're like, yeah, whatever. We're not taking your word for it. But it is interesting. I was never that mad into horses. I did do kind of stuff in college and that, and some of the stuff I did, and like I like nearly all animals. I just didn't really like horses because I just felt they're a prey animal. They're very scared and skittish. You know, they don't realise there's no bears around here anymore, or wolves or whatever. So they're a bit like your zebra or whatever. And because they're so big, they're dangerous, because if they lash out, they can do a hell of a lot of damage. And it's usually out of fear. You can get a bad-tempered horse as well. But they really won me over last year when I came across them. And they're absolute characters, and they do as like nearly all animals that are reasonably sentient anyway. They all have their own personalities, and during their time here, the pecking order changed. You know, the lead mare changed, and the same with these guys. You know, you'd see there was a boss, and then you'd suddenly see when the other ones, you know, starting to get a bit cheeky. And then of course there was, you know, he obviously challenged, and the other guy submitted, gave way. Anyway, I'll leave it at this for now. So hopefully I'll get some more interesting footage. Do, if you're anyway interested, or even not that interested, but a slightly bit interested, check out that Connemara Pony Days in Ireland. I have about 10 or 15 up there. I took a load of videos, and you can check out the song. It's absolutely brilliant, you know. And if anyone's doing any bookings, if you know any talent agents, you know, we can try and negotiate a fee. Listen, that's it. Thanks a million. Oh, by the way, on the trail cameras, I've checked some of them. I have to check the others. I got some nice deer footage, which I was trying to get kind of for a change. I've got a little bit of deer recently, but anyway. And we'll see. Yeah, I'll check the others. But yeah, please subscribe if you're anyway interested, or pass on the word or whatever. Something positive, please. And that's it. So we'll be back again. Maybe I'll do one of these maybe once a week and kind of do an edit of these. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I might do one of the mares if they're here, if they arrive on their own before that. Anyway, thanks so much. Take it easy. Adios.